Search engines let you find out about almost anything you want, but the transfer of info is not all one way. While you discover the world, your search engine is finding out about you. How much was vividly illustrated in August last year when AOL accidentally published the details of Google searches by 650,000 people. One man's life became an open book, revealing the sad plot of his failed marriage, desire for revenge and obsessive jealousy. Search engines seem to have assumed the role of confessor and counsellor, but at the same time they lack absolute confidentiality and instead record user searches without most people knowing about it.
I'm not even sure that people are knowing that such things, such operations are going on. This is the main problem, a general problem with free services. You have the impression that you don't pay for this, but actually, in fact, you pay for this, and you pay a very high price because you pay with your own privacy, your own intimacy, you pay with yourself.
Search engines are basically advertising agencies targeting you with adverts according to the search terms that you've put in. Now, what many people are less clear about is why search engines then need to record and store that data. Data that's linked to the IP address of your computer and therefore potentially to you. At a recent press day in Paris, Google's CEO could barely get away from the question.
Privacy is an issue that doesn't seem to be going away with Google.
Just returning to the privacy question.
But also on the subject of privacy, two questions.
Still more about the privacy issue and the...
Eric Schmidt began to look like someone who wanted to be somewhere else. The press have latched onto this because the amount of personal data being collected is beginning to alarm Europe's data protection body, made up of national watchdogs, including France's CNIL.
Normally, they will only use this information to send you personalized information and personalized advertisement. And this is how they're efficient and this is how they make money. The problem is the risk that is associated to this, because you can change the purpose. You can use, potentially, you have all the means to use this information in a way that you will learn a lot about the habits of the users. And this can potentially be very dangerous.
Google is the most powerful search engine on Earth. Today,
it's an issue with all search engines, but as market leader, Google has become the target of most criticism. Criticism which includes Master Plan, a movie project by a couple of German students, which claims that gathering our personal data has become the company's main aim. Google denies this and recently announced that it would only be keeping information about how we search for 2 years at the most. But why do they have to keep our data at all?
The first choice for internet search. And this was just the beginning.
You know, that would be great for privacy, but fraud would go crazy on the internet if nobody had records to be able to investigate and defend against bad people on the internet. The internet's like the real world. There are good people and bad people out there, and we have to be prepared for dealing with both.
Googleware gives the company more computing power than anyone else.
Google's argument is confusing and sounds more than a little self-serving, without explaining exactly how. In representations to Europe's data protection body, Google says it keeps our user data to make its system more secure. More secure, that is, to keep our user data.
Giant database.
On top of this, Google also scans all Gmail out and in, has applied to patent the psychological profiling of online gamers, and plans a database of personal info so detailed it would help people run their lives. Isn't all this intrusion getting a bit creepy?
Relevant text ads.
Google is committed to being transparent with our users. We're transparent about our privacy practices. We try to communicate with our users in the clearest and simplest language. And I think those are the principles that we need to adhere to.
So not creepy.
Clear and transparent.
There are some good sides to data retention. Google has launched Web History, so users can browse a list of sites they visited in the past and edit and delete any sites from that list. While you opt in for this service, opting out from other forms of data retention is more problematic. You can remove the cookies that track your searches, but many users don't know this and are frightened to mess around with their computers in this way. With Web 2.0 now moving so many of our desktop applications and therefore data online, campaigners feel we would do well to get these privacy issues sorted out sooner rather than later.